The Luka for AD trade shocked the world and left people wondering how AD would be the piece that gets the Mavs over the top. On Saturday, we finally got a glimpse, and really just a glimpse, of what Anthony Davis will look like in a Mavs jersey. And I think we got a realistic expectation of how this whole AD experiment could work. One of the main concerns with Davis on the team is who's going to be the first option. Both him and Kyrie are known to be great Robins to LeBron and Luka respectively. Now, since Kyrie is their only real ball handler, you would think it's him, but at least in this game, Jason Kidd revolved the offense around Davis. The most surprising aspect was how often Kidd had Davis initiate the offense. Even though Kyrie's taking the ball up, Gafford points to throw it to Davis because the play is designed for the two big men to run pick and roll, and Davis steps back for three. In this game, Kidd wanted AD to ISO a ton. Now that he's at the 4, the Rockets had to throw smaller dudes at him. The Rockets tried matching Davis with Amen Thompson, who has crazy athleticism, but once he gets back down in the post, Davis barely sees him as he's rising up. So next time he tries to front and swipe the pass instead, Davis is still just too big and he powers his way over Sengun before following it home. The other thing that really surprised me in this game was the different ways Dallas can create mismatch opportunities for Davis without stagnating the offense. On the first play of the game, they run floppy for Clay. The Rockets switch, which creates a mismatch for Davis down low. Sengun then has to come to help, and we see some of Davis's interior passing. On this one, Davis brings the ball up and runs an inverted pick and roll. Irving has a mismatch with Sengun, so Houston comes to double. Davis then has a big mismatch with Brooks, but I love how he scans the floor first and finds Dinwiddie in the corner for 3. Then on the scrambled possession, Jalen Green has to take AD, so even if PJ Washington misses the 3, Davis is right there for the rebound and dunk. Creating those effortless mismatches help a ton, but the biggest key for this offense to work is if Davis can hit his shots. Yeah, I know it's pretty obvious, and for a team that doesn't have as much space as before, Davis needs to at least draw his defender out to expand his whole game. Because he hit a few jumpers to start this game, the Kyrie AD pick and roll opened everything up in the second quarter. We saw the same result off of 3 different actions. Davis doesn't shoot many threes, and I'm not saying he should, but to have that option available for Dallas would be crucial, especially if he can't crush his matchup inside. In the second half, we saw a glimpse of Dallas's potential offensive struggles. Remember that in the first half, Amen Thompson was his main defender, but in the second half, Udoka went old school by playing 2 bigs and Sengun and Steven Adams to check AD. So now in these ISOs, AD is trying to move the strongest player in the league, and he can't get as close as he wants to. The Mavs try to run pick and roll instead. Davis gets good inside position, but Sengun and Adams both check him in the paint. So instead of trying to feed Davis, Dallas tries to get Kyrie a good matchup instead. The Rockets know that and have Thompson double. Marshall has an open shot, but tries to challenge a wall of defenders, and you know the result. That's why everything's really dependent on if Davis can really be his individual matchup. Otherwise, his teammates who aren't as offensively minded are going to be put in the position to ISO, which is not their strength. I think on most nights, that shouldn't be a problem, especially when small teams are the norm now, but it's something to keep in mind if Dallas is still in the playoff race when AD comes back. Defensively, AD was about as good as advertised. With both bigs just surrounding the paint, Houston just couldn't score. Sengun was probably the most frustrated. He doesn't have the most bounce, so he needs to be crafty. And he actually fools Davis with the pump fake, but his long arms allow him to recover on the second attempt. On the next one, Sengun tries to attack Davis in isolation. He gets decent position and throws a pump fake. That doesn't work though, so he just tries to throw it up and it's short. So then a quarter later, Sengun tries something else. He goes to the spin, but then decels. Davis is in the air again, but when Sengun goes up, Davis' lane still meets him at his apex and swats it away. The Mavs totaled 18 blocks in this game. From Davis to Gafford to PJ Washington, there's an endless amount of size on the perimeter and paint that will really cause defensive havoc. Obviously, Houston's offense still has a long way to go, but this is what the Mavs really envisioned with this team. In the finals, their bigs were way too compromised because the Mavs were small on the perimeter and got beat relatively easily off the dribble. Now that isn't as big of a problem when you know you have at least one big man in the paint at all times. Unfortunately, the Anthony Davis experience isn't complete without some sort of injury, which occurred at the end of the third when he couldn't rotate his body and suffered an abductor strain injury. Reports have said that he's going to be out for probably a month, which may put Dallas's playoff chances to bed. If there's a few things to take away, it's this. Dallas is trying to revolve their offense around Davis instead of Irving because he offers more versatility in how he can put pressure. We saw some of that with inverted pick and roll, big pick and roll, and going at smaller dudes in the post. In addition, Davis' shot is going to be crucial to maximize his potential with Kyrie Irving. He's not afraid to facilitate with Davis, but it really comes down to if he can be a 3-level scorer or at least be a perceived threat to defenses. On the defensive end, Davis is exactly what Dallas wants to open up that defensive flexibility by having at least one rim protector at the rim at all times. But maybe most importantly, for Dallas's insane plan to have a chance at working, Davis is gonna have to stay healthy. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If so, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys